Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Sanjeet Patsala and good evening to all of you. Right now I have a summary and theme of a book. It's a famous all over the world, Sapiens, a brief history of humankind. I think this is the most important, so definitely you should try to study. Uh, First of all, summary and themes, and then you try to study in deep. Sapiens, a brief history of humankind is a popular history book by Y.N. Harari. It explores how Homo sapiens went from being one relatively ordinary species among several human species to becoming the dominant species on the earth. This book is not a simply a history of kings, wars, and countries. Harari asks a deeper questions. How did humans become so powerful? What has that power done to us? The central idea, Harari argues that three major revolutions transformed the human history. The cognitive revolutions about 70,000 years ago, and the agricultural revolutions about 12,000 years ago, and the scientific revolutions about 500 years ago. Together, these transformed humans from small groups to of a hunter gatherings into a modern technological society. The cognitive revolutions. This is when Harari begins his history. Early Homo sapiens were not necessarily physically stronger than one human species. For example, uh, Neanderthals were also intelligent and physically capable. So, why did Homo sapiens eventually dominate? Harari's answers our ability to cooperate in large number. Humans developed sophisticated languages and the ability to discuss things that did not physically exist. For example, humans can believe in gods, nations, money, laws, human rights, corporations, religions, political ideologies. These are what Harari calls imagined orders or shared beliefs. For examples of 500 rupees is just a paper or digital information physically. It becomes a valuable because millions of people collectively believe that it has value. Important lessons. Human civilization depends heavily on shared stories and beliefs. The agricultural revolution. Around 12,000 years ago, human begins cultivating plants and domesticating animals. This seems like obvious progress. But Harari presents super surprising arguments. Agricultural revolutions may have made individual humans lives harder, even while making the human species more powerful. Hunter gatherers had relatively varied diets and could move from place to place. Farmers becomes dependent on a crop such as wheat and rice. They had to walk longer hours, remain in one place, protect their crops, and store foods, deal with the diseases, support growing populations. Yet agriculture produced more food overall, allowing populations to increase. So there is a difference between progress of the species, happiness of every individual. This is one of the most interesting idea in Sapiens. This is one of the most interesting ideas in Sapiens, the unification of human mankind. As a human population grew, different communities increasingly interacted. Harare identifies several forces that help unite humanity. Money. Money allowed strangers to cooperate. A farmer does not need to uh, personally know a merchant to trade with them. Empires, large empires brought different peoples under common political systems. Religions, Universal religions created shared moral and cultural systems across large populations. Examples include Christianity, Islam, Buddhism. Harari argues that these systems helped the humans cooperate beyond small tribes and families. The scientific revolution. The next major transformation began roughly 500 years ago. Harari argues that the modern science was driven partly by the recognitions that the human do not know everything. Earlier societies often believed that the important knowledge already existed in religious or tradition text. Modern science encouraged humans to say, "We don't know, let's investigate." These attitudes produced enormous changes in medicine, physics, chemistry, biology, technology, transportation, communication. Scientific knowledge then are combined with the imperial expansions and capitalism. Capitalism and money. One of Farage's major themes is the power of credit in capitalisms. Modern economics are based heavily on the beliefs that the future will be a better than the present. For examples, a bank may lend money today because it believes that a person or company will generate more wealth in the future. This creates a powerful economic system based on truth and future growth. Harari also discusses how a capitalism encouraged explorations, investments, technological development, entrepreneurships, economic expansions. But he also examines its negative consequences, including exploiting and inequality. The Industrial Revolutions. The Industrial Revolutions changed the relationship between the humans, machines, energy, society. Humans learned to use enormous amounts of energy from sources such as coal, oil, electricity. Factories could produce goods on unprecedented scales. Transportations and communications become a dramatically faster. The modern world emerged from these transformations. The scientific and technological futures. Near the end of book, Harari asks perhaps the most important questions. What happens when humans gain the ability to redesign life itself? Modern science is increasingly capable of manipulating genes, organisms, artificial intelligence, biological process. Harari suggests that the Homo sapiens may eventually transform itself into something fundamentally different. This leads to the idea of a Homo Deus, human as a god, which Harari explores more extensively in his next book, Major Theme of Sapiens. The power of shared beliefs. Humans can cooperate because they believe in common ideas. Nation, religions, money, and legal systems are powerful because people collectively accept them. Human cooperations. Our greatest advantage is not necessarily physical strength. It is our extraordinary ability to cooperate with large number of strangers. Progress plus happiness. Technological and economical progress does not automatically mean that humans become happier. This is one of the book's most intelligent questions. I mean, it's a challenging question. Science and ignorance. So modern science becomes a powerful partly because the humans accepted that did not know everything. Money as a universal language. Money allows people from a completely different cultures to cooperate. A person does not have to share your religions or culture to accept money from you. Empire and globalization. Empires often cause suffering, exploitations, but they also connected previously separate cultures and populations. Harari therefore presents the history as a complicated rather than simple, good or bad. Technology and future. The same intelligence that's made a human powerful may eventually allow humans to change their own natures. The raise the profound questions. If we can redesign ourselves, what does it mean to be a human? The deepest message of this book is The deepest message of the Sapiens is that the human civilization is built upon a collective imaginations and cooperations. A single person cannot create a modern economy, nations, university, corporations, or legal systems. But millions of people can cooperate because they share beliefs about these institutions. So human history is not a simple the story of technological development. It is also the story of how humans learn to create shared realities. In one sentence, Sapiens explains how Homo sapiens conquered the world through the language, shared myths, corporations, agriculture, money, science, technology, and ask whether the power we have gained will ultimately make us happier or transform us into a something beyond humanity. A useful way to remember the whole book: cognitive revolutions, agriculture, empires and money, scientific revolutions, industrialization, technological futures. If you are studying the book seriously, the 10 most important ideas of Sapiens are even more useful. The memorizing the chapter by chapter summarize. So, guys, it's my request to all of you, please try to study in deep. Jai Hind.